All right, welcome back. Today I want to talk about something that's probably unusual for most Americans and for people almost everywhere around the globe, but I want to talk about mindfulness today as it relates to eating food and being sensitive to the environment. Most of my life I've been exposed to Eastern arts, whether it be karate, tai chi, meditation, and recently yoga. And what I find really extraordinary about a lot of the Eastern arts is everything is very internal versus external. That's not to say that when you see someone in a yoga pose, that's not external. You see someone doing tai chi or karate, that it's not external. But what I'm talking about is the inner game within the mind or within your body, within your spirit. And you can look at those type of things, those type of activities, as sometimes they look very external, like someone's kicking and punching or someone's doing a pose in yoga. But what probably you don't see is what's going on in between their ears and between the mind. And I've always had this belief or this idea as I've looked at that stuff, and maybe it was the era I was brought up in, watching those shows when I was very young, watching those karate shows on TV with, the philosophy part of it. But I was kind of drawn and attracted to that for lots of simple reasons. I can tell you with strong conviction and belief that by making time to be mindful, and whether we want to call that meditation, some time sitting by yourself where you're doing nothing, standing in a pose like I'm standing here talking to you in front of the camera, I'm not moving or just being still, provides you with some unique opportunities for your brain. And what I mean by the opportunity, it gives you the opportunity for your brain to quiet down and to relax. And when I look at doing yoga for the last few years, I feel the same way, only different. And, I used to be into running. And I realized as I was getting older, my knees would hurt and my feet would hurt. And it became patently clear to me that this is a fun exercise for the endorphins and for the runner's high. It wasn't good for my skeleton. So I decided that I need to make a change. And actually, it's another long story about how I got to yoga, and I don't want to bore you with that. But what I found was there's a lot of, I would say, foundational symmetry and similarities to a lot of the, I would say, Asian to Indian arts. And it's about just learning to still your mind. And I think quite often today, when your mind is busy racing with thoughts, racing with concerns you have without your day, you don't get back to who you really are. And I think externally today, with all the media devices we have in our pockets and things like Facebook, where you might even be seeing this video, is that we're always kind of chasing the next shiny thing, as opposed to making time for ourselves at its core. So I would say, people say, what's the key to you maintaining your waistline, let's just say. And I just say I just need to be still sometimes. And that seems probably a little bit unusual. But I think when you're still, it's not about me giving you any feedback or advice. It's just about you being still with yourself, and it's allowing nature to show up. And that's one of the things I actually do like about yoga, is that, we go there and I meet people there I've seen for years, and they might just smile and say hi to me or vice versa, but we don't know each other besides being in that room. But it's some time for me to be still on that yoga mat and to do some poses and do some stretching, but really doing some breathing. And if your mind is wandering and meandering about your day and you're doing a pose, you're going to fall over because you're not focused, right, on what's most important, which is your breath. And I attribute that calmness and that peace and tranquility by being in a yoga class to having peace and tranquility and making decisions about the food I eat. So I'm not saying you should go to yoga today, although if you decide to go to a studio, that's great. And if you don't like that studio, go find another one and go find a place that you feel connected to. But at its core, I think Americans in general could probably spend some more time being still. And whether it be, again, going for a hike by themselves, sitting on top of the mountain, going sitting on the beach, or just having some me time is what I've been told by my daughter. How do I have some me time? And I think having some of that me time for you is going to be helpful, because you're able to turn off all the external noise, okay, and get to that tuning fork of what's going on inside of you. And when you make time for yourself, and you can take a little breather and you can drop your shoulders a little bit, I think the things that you were attracted to or being drawn to, that next shiny thing, whether it be something you want to purchase or something that's really pulling you for whatever reasons, for anxious reasons or whatnot, they tend to fall off and dissipate. And it's because you've made that time. So again, whatever that mindfulness that you want to do that's good for you, whether it be spending time at your church and being at the pew, kneeling down, talking to God or whoever your God is, that's fine. But I think making some mindfulness time is really important, and it'll help you become still inside, and then you'll find all those other treasures that have been locked down in there that you've been struggling with, because I really believe that food is people's antidepressant today. And we're eating so much food, we have access to so much inexpensive food, like I've said in probably the first or second video, is that we're not even aware consciously of what we're doing. It's an unconscious activity, eating. So I think the higher that we can raise our consciousness throughout our day, or through whatever our meditation practice is, or some type of meditation practice, that the belt's going to fit better, the clothes are going to fit better, because you're going to be aware of that, as opposed to just kind of going through life, racing through life. We're going to like turn the music down a little bit and hear things you never heard before. Anyway, I'm sorry for getting a little bit overly kind of philosophical with you today, but I find some truth to this, and I think my body seems to be living proof of trying to follow this path and being mindful. So hopefully some of this information you can take into your life. Again, I'm not trying to encourage you to go to a yoga studio today, but finding that time to be still, and whatever vehicle or modality that you use to get still, I think will be instrumental in helping you, again, lose weight and feel good about yourself. Thanks for watching this. Please share this with somebody you love and care about, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.